Hello, everybody. How's it going? We are. Who the heck? That's so weird. Okay, I'll take it. Sure. Get some stuff going on. Let's bring this up here. That over there. Are we live? I think we're live. We might be live. Okay, that down, this down, that there, that there. Who's messaging me? Nobody. Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, we need to grab some stuff off Canva, get some charts and whatnot going for later. And we should be good. Okay. So I need to download this. Hello, Crow. How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you as always. Happy Canada Day Part 2. Yeah, the weird random double stream. Nothing quite like it. Let's upload this one. Sorry for the whatever that's going on in the background there. Sorry for the quick drop off earlier today. It was just that realization of like, oh, I'm gonna be sitting in the chair for way too long today if I don't take some personal time in between. So hopefully somebody let Bubba Hotep know so he's not just sitting there waiting forever. All right, we got the background changed. This one's gonna go here. So we need to grab Miss Hillary just rated in with 12 viewers. That's what was going on. Sorry, Hillary. I don't have all of my redemptions on this restream like I'm supposed to, but that's awesome. How was your stream? Hopefully it went well. Sorry, but game didn't want to load after over an hour of trying. That sucks. Which game was that? Void Hunters or something like that? Is that a cell game? Cell phone game? Hey, look. You guys can be here. Miserable. Oh, well, it's not. You want to talk miserable? Let's talk American Beauty. American Beauty logo PNG. I mean, that's pretty bland. But that's also like, I feel like that actually is the logo. You guys can't see what I'm talking about. That's fine. That's fine. All right, let's go here. We'll copy and paste that, bring it down, ungroup that, delete that, go back and grab the picture. Copy image. Here we go. And paste. And remove background. All right. Can we change the color of that? Because that looks awful. Maybe we can edit it and put shadow, like an outline. Maybe like a white outline. Will that fix it, do you think? Woo! Too thick. Ooh. Oh, I actually kind of like that. There's a lot of red on this poster at the moment, so this kind of works. I'll just bring that right down and that right up. There we go. That is way too big. It's fine. We can fix it in post. The Great Outdoors is actually way too big. That one's going to have to change for sure. That one's taking up a lot of retail. All right. There we go. Group that. And now we should be good. This might be one of the last ones we get on the Patreon post. We're going to have to fix this up. Demarin, how you doing, buddy? We don't normally do shots on Thursday nights, but, for you, what the hell? You get one. I need something to get through this episode, so why not? How's it going, Wonderful D? Void Hunters, yeah, Hero Collector. You just can't get enough of those Hero Collectors, can you? And yet you didn't like Marvel Strike Force. It's weird to me. What? C'est la vie. Forgot it's Thursday. All good, buddy. All good. Salut. You played it. You didn't like it very much, though. I don't think. That was always the impression I got from you. You played it for a little while, and then we're like, nah, I'm good. All right. Posters up and ready. IMDb is up and ready. Background's up and ready. Run 7, I think, just went live, didn't he? So maybe he'll be jumping over here quickly. It's so weird to me that we've got a new whatever. Let's check Patreon just in case. Patreon, I guess. Looking about the same. And let's jump over to, I kind of want to check out Streamlabs just out of curiosity. Chat is up and ready. For 5 minutes, dismiss. Okay. Let's knock on Run 7's door and see what he says about life. Oh, he's still in background mode. The chat on screen is hilariously far behind. Run's still on intro? Yeah. Well, we'll see what he does. All right, let's go over here. It's Hillary Frost. I mean, I don't know. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, I guess. I saw Run 7 and Cleaning Agent both in your chat, so hopefully they're going to be here soon. Okay, let's just get that off stream. If it can't keep up, then who cares? Woo! Nice streaking. What kind of streak we got going on today? 65 stream streak. Omega Man, you're a freaking machine, my guy. Wow. Thank you so much. Oh, that is a sexy background, sir. That is hot. I'm not going to lie.
There we go.
You should have a wet shirt for this one. Not just.
Yeah.
I knocked. Did you answer? Did I not knock? Maybe
I must have missed it.
No, I might have just clicked your logo instead of actually knocking.
There it is. It just popped up. I wish it would leave my audio and video settings the same as when I left it the last time instead of making me mute the mic and sound and stuff every time.
That would be nice, but
wouldn't that be nice? Oh well.
I don't expect much of Twitch.
Yeah.
All right. Will was in Hillary's chat, so he's theoretically around a computer at least. So hopefully
he's around a computer.
How are you doing this week, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Thank you for the follow, HVFDXS.
Yeah, I don't know if you should be thanking him for the follow.
Nope. Sorry. My bad. Let me get rid of them.
With a name like HVDXS,
yeah, right.
It's got to be good.
How do I remove those?
I don't want to go into detail. I did get some pretty crappy news about an hour ago, so we'll see how this episode goes. It'll be fine. It's just if I'm a little off, bear with me.
Okay. I hope it's not too bad, man.
I'll let you. I'll tell you off air. There we go.
So all I was able to do was block them. Is that what I'm supposed to do? How do I ban people? I want to swing that ban hammer around everybody's got.
I don't know if I can do it because it's on your stream that he's talking to. He didn't talk to me on my stream.
Yeah.
Here, I'll try and ban. No, that's.
Oh, there. It's.
I banned him for you.
Thank you. Cleaning agent with the ban hammer. He knows how to swing it.
How's it going, Will?
Good. How are you? I mean, I heard you're okay. Well, we're going to be better by the end of the night.
Of course we will. Can't be worse. Okay, fair. We could be worse. Click the name, then hit ban.
Yeah, I click the name and it doesn't give me.
I do,
mod actions maybe. Nope.
I just do /ban and then the person's name.
Oh, okay. Well,
How
I
do you
can
do?
that.
Okay,
I'll figure it out.
really stupid question, but I never do have to do this because I always get my audience to. I love that you got the rose petals as well. How do you shout somebody out? What is the actual command for shouting somebody out?
Exclamation point SO and then their name.
Just their name, not at.
I do at because it'll bring up the list of names and then I can click it instead of having to type it all out and it's all typed correctly.
That's the old way. I think
So,
it's /shoutout and then at the name.
So did that shout out? Oh, I guess it did. Yeah, okay, it worked.
Yeah, I think you have to set up the exclamation SO, don't you? I don't
That's
think that was
weird. It's not the exclamation SO isn't working anymore. So let me try the slash business.
The /shoutout is the one that I think works now for Twitch, unless you set up a separate command.
You do /SO and then their name?
No,
That's
/shoutout.
weird.
All one word.
Yeah.
You actually spell out shout out?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a lot of typing. I might have to get a mod to
Well,
do that.
yeah.
Yeah, right? Like crazy.
Oh, well, you can just type in like SHO and it'll highlight shout out and you'd hit enter.
Yeah, it should pop up the menu of commands.
I did. It was for a little while on StreamerBot. You could literally just click on their name and it would give you a bunch of options, including like ban and shout out and stuff like that. It was super easy. And I don't know why they changed that because it was one of the better features they had. And they got a lot of good features.
I have to wait 59 minutes before giving Miss Hillary another shout out because somebody beat me to it.
That was me. My bad.
How dare you shout her out so I can't shout her out?
That's weird that you got to wait an hour now. That's new, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. That seems odd.
Hour seems like a long time. But also, we did just shout out like 4 people at once. So maybe it's just like, okay, chill the frick out.
Yeah, the exclamation point one doesn't seem to be working. That's weird. Oh, well. See, as soon as I get something down, then Twitch changes things. It's frustrating. What's up, Miss Hillary? What's up, Wonderful D? What's up, Demillion? What's up, Crow? What's up, Skinny Matthew? What's up, Fost? I think I got everybody that's in chat right now, or my chat.
Hey,
anyway.
everybody.
Do you guys want to do a quick little game of some kind? I have nothing prepared. I'm just throwing it out there as an option
I'll do a game if you want, but I do need to bounce out of here in an hour and 8 minutes.
Fair enough. I also don't envision having a late night tonight. I had way too late of a night last night watching Bubba Hotep till like 1 a.m. or something. So need to get back into a work schedule. Only for one day, apparently, but still. Miss Hillary is going to join us for 5-10 minutes close to the end of the episode. Just figured to be a good episode to have a female perspective on. Other than that, there's no reason we can't just jump in and get going. Like she's in the audience already, so I'm sure whenever we're ready to bring her on, she'll be good. I'll actually just send her the invite now so that she has it, so I'm not fiddling later.
Ooh, yes.
So Hillary, check your Discord momentarily.
I gotta wake up.
And you can join us whenever, Hillary, and I just won't bring you on until we're ready for you. So if that's easier for you, go for it.
My question to chat is, did everybody watch this movie?
Has everybody seen American Beauty at some point in their life?
Yeah, I feel like this was a fairly low turnout at the watch party. Not well, we'll get into it, but not the funnest rewatch. Let's just leave it at that, and then we can dive into it further.
Yeah.
Am I playing my hand? Maybe. Do I think I'm wrong? Nope. All right. That's. Oh, whoops. Okay, I got something wrong. 1 second.
The only American Beauty I've seen is Jessica Alba. Wow.
Big Alba fan out there.
That's the only one?
Hey, teach their own.
Sure.
Different strokes for different folks.
Saw it on release. Think you're in the Navy at the time. Okay. So we just jumping right into this then?
Yeah, we can just jump right into it.
we can, I guess. Probably.
Right through the yawn. Why not?
Yep, there we go. Start it with the yawn. Here we go. American Beauty, 1999. Every middle-aged human is having the biggest midlife crisis of all time, all at the same time.
I never know if it's going to be a long one or a short one or what's going on. You always just kind of throw a curveball. Sometimes I can like turn the mic off and get like situated. Other times I'm like, oh shit, it's done. It's done. All right.
We're done. We're jumping into this one.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Our Rating, the show where I get together with two of my friends. We talk about a movie franchise, break it down by movie, give them an overall score, and then throw them back on the board to see where it lands compared to other movie franchises. However, this is our Patreon pick. It's that at the end of the month, every Thursday at the end of the month, where we let the audience decide. And this month, they chose American Beauty for us to go over. Brian and Will, how are you doing this week?
I'm good, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about you, Will?
I'm doing all right. My first time watching American Beauty, so I'm ready to jump into this bad boy.
Fair enough. You jumped my question a little bit there, but okay. So this
Really?
is your first time.
This is your first time? I thought for sure you'd seen this one with 5 Academy Awards and Best Picture as shown there on the poster. I wouldn't have known that.
Even as a wannabe cinephile like myself, you sometimes miss one along the way, and this one just wasn't meant to be until now.
Well, I'm very curious about your perspective then, because I saw this movie once or twice when it first came out, and then never again until just the other day. Mm-hmm. And I was a little shocked at the difference in what I remembered and what I saw. Dan, how many times have you seen this movie?
This is my second time watching this. We did this for the watch party. So I saw it when it first came out, not in theaters, just at home at some point in 99, 2000, somewhere around that range. Right. And then I didn't see it again until now. I didn't really have a desire to go back to it. Not that I remember disliking it. It just didn't resonate with me a whole lot, which is kind of funny because rewatching this, I kind of realized there's a lot of scenes in this where I'm like, oh, that's interesting how that hit me as a teenager versus how that hits me now.
Right. Yeah.
I am kind of glad that I did go back to this one, but I'm kind of okay that I didn't go back to it for such a long gap. Like having seen it when I was the teenager's age in this, and now that I'm seeing it as Kevin Spacey's age in this, is a really interesting way to view this film.
And for those of you watching this on YouTube, be sure to stay tuned to the end because Dan pulls up a big list of numbers and we pitch this movie against other movies. We do this for both our franchises as whole franchises and for our Patreon picks and the March Madness movies that we put in here. So you can see where they compare to other movies based on our opinions. And of course, we'd love to hear your opinions in the comments down below.
Thank you very much for that. So I don't know how to get into this one without kind of just jumping straight into this one. This is a really hard watch, for me at least. Maybe not for everybody, but there's a lot of really dark themes, dark tones, and just a whole lot of, for lack of a better word to say it, just ick factor in this one. Mm-hmm. Where I won't say it's not art, but I will say it's not entertainment, at least for me. Where does that resonate with you guys?
I don't disagree with a lot of what you said. The movie, I think, kind of shows a lot of the negative in everybody. There's not a lot of redeeming characters in this movie whatsoever. And I don't think they're supposed to be. I think that's kind of the point. Yeah. But it does make for like a movie that I don't know if I'll ever need to watch again.
Yeah.
It definitely does a great job at what it's trying to do, I think, though. It does put it there's a lot of great elements to this movie, but again, it's just like, okay, I'm watching a lot of darkness and a lot of
what is it trying to do though? Like what?
I think it's trying to highlight just like that the picture perfect American dream isn't always what it seems to be. It highlights people with identity crisis or midlife crises. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, for the entertainment or the appeal of this movie is everybody is going through like the most extreme identity crisis. So there's never a dull moment. Whether you like that or it wears on you, I guess is
no. I think that's interesting. I think Ricky is going around filming people, and he kind of highlights that the interesting and beautiful things are the flaws in each of us. He's always looking at the weirdest, kind of most interesting stuff. Everything from dead bodies to people exercising in the buff and just people who are natural and and not trying to be something that they're not fake. You know, he's filming that and highlighting that, and that's his idea of what's beautiful. I'm not sure if that's exactly what the overall picture is looking at, but that's one person's perspective, and I think that's something to it because everybody in this movie is flawed, and I think that they are kind of showcasing the most interesting thing is that people are dealing with these flaws, whether they're dealing with them correctly or not.
Yeah. I don't know many of them people actually are dealing with their flaws so much as just kind of going through it, but
interacting with their flaws.
Yeah. One of the things I found out when I was watching or looking up this movie, doing the tiniest bit of research, American Beauty is actually in reference to a type of rose, which is very beautiful, but also extremely acceptable to root rot. So even the title of the film is kind of saying like, yes, it's all very pretty on the outside, but it's what's going on under the surface that you never really know about that's actually what's awful. And when we look at this movie, you see, I don't know their last names, the Burnhams, I guess. Kevin Spacey, his wife, Annette Bening, and their daughter, Thora Birch. On the outside, they've got this nice marriage, really nice house, but everything that's going on inside, like none of them seem to get along very much. Their marriage is a sham at best. They've got no real relationship with their daughter for their own personal reasons. Like it just is this perfect looking, rotted out core. So like I liked that better because I didn't really understand the title of this all that well, but that makes a lot of sense to me once it's explained to me.
Well, and the poster of the movie, not this poster, I don't know why, but in most of the posters, it also says after the title, "Look closer." Yeah. Which again is looking inward, actually what's going on. Because, you know, people every day are wearing masks and putting on a facade of some sort to some level, to some degree. This one, again, just taking the mask off and going to the extreme of how people are dealing with their unhappiness or discontent with their own lives. Whatever, so be it, right?
I love that the only seemingly happy, boring, normal people are the two Jims who live next door.
Yes,
like
I was
everybody else has
too.
this like rotted core, and like these two Jims are just like happy-go-lucky, living their best lives. And it's like that's interesting for 1999, especially. That's really interesting.
Yeah. I love the push that in at some point in this world, the happy gay couple is the most normal couple because throughout history that is not been what people assume or think that within that community, and it's so easily could be the case. And I love how they kind of put a point on that in this movie.
Yeah.
So I have a question a little more for Will, since this is his first time through this movie.
Sure.
Okay. So Dan, I think, is probably on a similar page with me. The first time I saw this movie, I really liked it. I liked everything about it. I was very young and didn't get much of an ick factor as I watched it. The second time through, or this latest time through, I was blown away at how creepy this movie felt and how gross I even felt at some scenes watching it, going like, this is inappropriate for me to be watching this almost. Yeah. How did you feel about this? Your first time, present day, is this art? Was it creepy? Was it appropriate, inappropriate? Did it ick you or gross you out in any way?
I mean, I can assume mostly you're talking about Lester and his lust for a underaged minor.
Sure. Lots of underaged boobies being shown.
Sure. I mean, that's sure. I think in film, I think it's all about if it puts the story forward and plays towards the story and the character's arc. And I think it does. Lester goes through this like recession in his life of like, I'm not happy where I am. The last time I remember being happy was when I was a teenager, living my best life, working at a burger shack for the summer, you know, doing whatever I wanted. And so he reverts back into that in hopes that that will rekindle his happiness. And so what triggers that in his mind is when they're at the cheers squad, whatever performance, the pep rally, and he sees this young beauty. And it just clicks in his mind. And so he becomes kind of obsessed about it. So is it creepy and icky? Absolutely. Is it meant to be? Absolutely. Does he go the right way about reclaiming his life or his identity? Absolutely not. And I think that's part of the story and this character's flaws throughout, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I saw it. Does it hit harder the creepy factor nowadays because of the Weinsteins and the Epsteins of the world? Absolutely, it does. So maybe a little bit. I don't know if that maybe it doesn't hold up as well as in '99 when that wasn't as prevalent in media, but I think it's still directed by the character's choices and the character's flaws. So I don't feel like it's misplaced, if that makes sense.
And Dan, how do you feel about the content of this film and the topics that they go over? Did you get grossed out the second time around the way I did? I mean, not grossed out so much. It just felt uncomfortable watching it.
It felt very uncomfortable watching this movie at all as an adult, but especially in a watch party setting where we're usually like joking and making fun of things, and then it's like this very serious topic and subject matter, and like I know most people in the room are like adult, but I don't actually know who's behind the keyboard in some of these situations. You know what I mean? Like I know you guys and I know the names of other people, but like, so it was a little bit weird in that regard. There's a certain point where my brain is like, but why? Like, what is the point of this? And like, there probably is an interesting story about like how nobody is who they say they are, and like everybody kind of goes through that like identity crisis, midlife crisis, whatever you want to call it. But like, is this at the end of the day a story that needs to be told, or is this just kind of, for lack of a better term, venting?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
of
all the films we can go over and talk about, is this one important?
I think it is important to a degree to self-reflect. And if you are unhappy in your life, find a way to positively change your life, which I think in the movie Jane is probably the best case scenario of her finding through her boyfriend, Ricky, that, you know, imperfection isn't necessarily bad, but you can find the perfection in yourself and, you know, comfort in yourself and others and other things in the world. And I think Brian kind of touched on this, like Ricky kind of has the best outlook in life. He sees the little things and takes video so he can look back and find the beauty in those things that he's filmed. And by the end of the movie, Lester kind of finds that as well, where he's talking about it's those little things in his life that brought him the most happiness, like remembering his grandma's fingers buttoning up her sweater or whatever, and all these little details. And those are like things that obviously he didn't think about at all when he was kind of crashing. And so I think the final message is somewhat important. Did it have to be as dark and twisted as this movie is? Maybe not. But I mean, I think that makes an impact, right? So a lot of movies will go for that impact to make sure that they hit that message home.
I certainly had an easier time watching this when I was younger, and I was attracted to the teenage girls because they were my age. And so I didn't have as hard a time with it as I did being older, being a father, and thinking about it from that perspective. When those girls bared their chest, I was in the watch party going like, okay, they're probably not 16, 17 years old, but they're portrayed as 16, 17 years old. And it makes me feel uncomfortable watching this movie, especially with other people. Like I definitely felt the most uncomfortable at that moment for myself and what was being displayed on screen and stuff. However, Lester's arc, as I'll say, it starts with him being attracted to this young girl. And that's his motivation for changing his life. Now, does he necessarily make the most positive changes? Absolutely not. But he's seeking out change and he's taking action. He's taking control of his life. And I really did appreciate that. And at the very end, he has this saving grace where she says that it's her first time. And he's thinking that she is an experienced young woman. And she's not. And it dawns on her, this is a little girl that needs to be taken care of. And suddenly his fatherly instincts kick in. He's wrapping her up in a blanket and he's like, hey, you haven't done anything wrong. And he kind of like saves himself in that moment. And then, you know, a little bit later, he's looking at the photograph of his family and he's recalling all those little details like you said. And so it ends on a good note. He gets there in the end, but the journey was a very uncomfortable journey. And I think it was easier for me to watch as a younger man and as an older adult. And in this era, you know, when we have P. Diddy's doing things, this was a little bit more challenging for me for sure. That being said, the content, we've kind of chewed that up. I thought that the acting by Kevin Spacey and Annette Bening was phenomenal in this movie and was such a pleasure to watch, and enjoyed watching them go through these challenging scenes that were kind of had an ick factor. Very much enjoyed watching them.
Yeah, I'll agree with that all day. I think a lot of the technical aspects, whether it be the acting, the sound, cinematography, all of that in this movie is incredibly well done. I do understand why this won the Oscars that it won, 100%. Do I like the characters? No. But that says something when you can take actors who, like Kevin Spacey, who I liked at the time, Annette Bening, who's great, Allison Janney, the mother, what's his name? Ricky's mother, who I love from The West Wing, and I didn't even recognize for the first little bit because she's so, I don't know, on Valium or whatever she's on, that like I didn't even recognize her as this just like nothing of a person, like just this like husk of a person.
Yeah.
So I really did like the portrayals of everybody. I just didn't like the actual people. And going back to Lester for a second, because he is, I think, probably the most interesting character in the film. For me, at least, not necessarily the best. Just I like that he goes through an arc. I like that he goes from like this wimpy little just going to work, doing the thing, loser, to like taking a bit more control, getting himself in shape, going for the runs with the neighbors, doing all these things. And you just have to keep reminding yourself, yeah, but he's not doing that for himself. He's not doing that for his wife. He's not doing that for the life of his kid. He's doing that because he wants to bang a 17-year-old. And it's like, oh, right. This is a creep and I hate him. No, never mind. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really hard movie to watch. And going back for the briefest of seconds, Thora Birch is not overage in this movie. She is underage.
I think she was 17 at the time.
She's 17. That scene doesn't feel necessary, and it feels kind of like, why'd you even put this in? Because you could easily have done the exact same scene and the camera just doesn't pan down. And you still know exactly what she's doing. You still get that he's watching her, and you just don't have to have that. And so the fact that they did put that in, it just kind of points to the fact, like, no, they want you to feel uncomfortable in this moment.
Yeah.
Like, it is not a sexy scene. It is not, again, I'm going to argue not a necessary scene. It is just there to make the audience feel as uncomfortable with it as possible. And it worked. Congratulations. I was very uncomfortable watching multiple scenes in this film.
And aside from her showing off her chest, I had a hard time watching her in this movie because there were some scenes where I felt were terrible delivery of lines. It took me out. It really felt like she was reading lines, and I thought it was a terrible job of acting. However, she had a look. Those quiet scenes where the camera was just on her and she had facial expressions, the expressions that she would give were stellar. And I really, in those quiet moments with her in the, just nailed it. But whenever she was speaking, for some reason, I just was like, no, this is horrible. Maybe it was you were comparing it to Annette Bening, who was blowing the walls off with her performance. I thought she was the number one in this. Maybe that's just the comparison, and she was up against some steep competition. But when the daughter was delivering her lines, I didn't enjoy it too much.
I don't want to take away what you said, because you're right. Like the scene where he's videotaping the two of them in the room, and Mia Savari is like dancing and whatnot. And he just like zooms in on the mirror in the background, where you just see like her, and she looks almost sad, but kind of like she's smiling, like she's. It's hard to describe what's going on in her face because it is so conflicted, but it's so well done.
Yes.
But I do have to point out, like, you were on board with the acting until I told you she was under 18, and all of a sudden, like, oh, she's terrible. Like, just like, oh, it's another child actor. We have to go after them.
I knew when you said she was 17. I'm like, man, they're going to categorize this as a child actor again. That isn't it.
The timing was just fantastic.
I honestly thought she was 18 for the film. I was hoping she was 18 for the film. Yeah. But no, just her delivery of lines wasn't great for me. It didn't ruin it.
Yeah.
But especially compared to what she was working with, who she was working with, it really showed. And so I loved the quiet moments with her, but I would have liked to have better line delivery, especially that scene where she's talking to Ricky about having him murder her dad. That just seems so jarringly off. And they used it twice, so it's even worse. Like I watched it the second time, like, nope, not any better the second time through.
Yeah.
So didn't like that.
I wish, like, obviously you don't want to have this movie spanning decades, so you can't really do like why are Lester and Carolyn, Annette Bening and Kevin Spacey, why are they together? But I could have done with at least a scene or two where it felt like Mina Suvari and Thora Birch were friends. Like at no point did I understand the chemistry between them or what they had in common, other than just they went to the same school. But like Jane, Thora Birch's character, just felt over her the entire time. Like anytime Mina Suvari was talking, Thora was just like rolling her eyes, it felt like. And I'm just like, why are you hanging out?
They were kind of polar opposites, right? Like one was playing I am all that and a bag of chips, and the other was playing I am the ugliest duckling in the room. And what the film did cleverly was kind of switch their positions in the movie, which was kind of clever, but it did make for a hard relationship to be seen on film because the characters were so contrast to each other.
And then, of course, as soon as you start talking, I realize exactly what is going on, because you've got Mina Suvari's character who wants to stand out, so she picks the character who's okay being a wallflower, so she can always be in the limelight. And then you got the character who's always in the corner, who likes to have somebody around them, so they don't have to be the center of attention.
Push forward,
they can always let them be the center of attention. I hate myself that I just got that as you were talking.
No, but I mean, that works, but you're right. Their dynamic seemed a little weird. The only time I ever really felt chemistry between the two girls as genuine friends was when they were making jokes about her having sex with her dad, with Jane's dad. And that was even really awkward because, you know, Lester's listening through the door with his dad boner, and it was very awkward. And that was the only time that the two girls really seemed to really enjoy their company, which was awkward in itself.
And she wasn't joking about it. Like, it wasn't her just bugging Thora Birch's character, like, oh, your dad's pretty cute. Like, she's actually attracted to him and willing to do stuff. And you're just like, oh. Like, if they'd been joking and then, like, he's been getting buffed the entire movie and is like, hey, you like these muscles? She's like, ew. Like, that would have been not the same film for many, many reasons, but, like, that would have been so much more funny
realistic.
To me. And that would have been like, oh, okay. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, no, it's there's a lot going on in this film. Oy.
I had the biggest trouble with Thora Birch because all I can picture is Hocus Pocus. Enough said.
Yeah.
She's just this little girl trick-or-treating as far as I'll ever remember her.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the arc of Annette Bening's character, Lester's wife, I forget her name. She was a very interesting character, and I almost felt bad because they were giving her such a hard time because she simply wanted to project success, right? And maybe that's fake, but at the same time, it was what she wanted to do with her life, and everybody was kind of ridiculing her about it, and it was kind of like, so what? She's working hard for this, and that's what she wants to do.
Right,
so,
but at what cost, though, right?
Yeah, the cost was the understanding. I just kind of felt like everybody seemed pretty harsh on her. There was no mother-daughter dynamic to be seen. They never got anywhere with their marriage. They tried a couple of times, but it never really went anywhere. And instead, you know, she just ends up out of nowhere kind of cheating on him. And then she's the bad person from there on out. And I'm not a big fan of adultery, so I was okay with that angle. But at the same time, I kind of wish that maybe she could have found a little bit more closure, because the best thing that we had was after he was dead, she went in and she hugged and smelled his clothes and realized she was sad he was gone. And that was something, and I appreciate it. It was a very powerful moment. Great job acting. She's one of the few actresses that can take this up like a full 2 points. And she did a stellar job, but I wanted a little bit more out of that character arc for a little bit more closure.
I definitely wouldn't say that the cheating angle was out of nowhere. They kind of played up a little bit that they're obviously a fairly estranged couple. Pretty much they're
I'd say
together for the kid.
Quickly.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. The relationship with the mattress
king.
king or whatever his name was.
The mattress king.
That one.
Well,
Well,
he
what-
was mid movie.
That might have come out of nowhere. Like that wasn't a relationship that was budding at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
But I think she was she was needing what she needed for a good long time before this film started rolling.
Mhm.
What do you want to? I think my kids are in the other room. I'm trying to do the best I can.
But I mean, that wasn't the only thing she was looking for, right? She was also looking at the realtor king as a mentor because he was successful, and she was like thrilled by the idea that they would get a divorce because his wife didn't want him to focus on his job and career so much,
and he
So
legitimized her direction.
Exactly. She paralleled that thought process, and that she found somebody that understood it so well, whereas her husband doesn't understand it at all. And so I think, and you have to also remember this movie is spanned over a year of life almost,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So because Lester is kind of the main protagonist, we get the most in depth of his.
Yeah. So we probably missed a few
feelings.
scenes with them working
So I think,
up to it.
they have to quicken her steps to get her kind of to the same end point.
Also, to showcase her being more fake, they did have him dump her when he found out she was going to go through a divorce, because he can't be dating somebody who's going through a divorce, right? That's not success. And so he dumps her. That was a real kick in the teeth and a shocking moment for her. And I just feel that they didn't give that enough time, because then I would have felt that's her character arc. That's her finding out that this direction is fake and she has been hiding her true reality the whole time. And they didn't showcase that enough. And instead I just kind of felt like, oh, that sucks. Not really like, hey, you learned why you should be more real with yourself and not be so obsessed with fake success. And instead, it just seemed like, oh, that's a bummer. So I guess I just wanted a little bit more out of that character in every way.
The breakup leads to her in the side of the road in the rain, to her potentially going to kill her husband. Is that
not wanting to be a victim? She wanted to take that. Yeah.
Well, and and I think that was it. It's like she never got her full arc like Lester did, again because she's not the main protagonist. But the breakup was just another wind up of, I'm blaming my husband for this because he was the one that called it out in the drive-through and all that. So she immediately pegged the blame on him, which wound her up even more, and that's why she wanted to kill him, being like, this was the last straw. Like, how dare you, right? This guy was my end goal success as a realtor and everything else, right?
If you
had so power hungry with the gun and everything too, right?
If you hadn't called me out in the drive-through, he wouldn't have broken up with me.
Exactly.
And then who knows where my life would be right now.
Yeah, nobody taking full responsibility for their own actions, right?
Yeah. There are a couple of times where Kevin Spacey and Annette Bening are having an argument. And like he says, like, oh, well, you treat her, the daughter, like your own personal assistant or something like that, or like your own like employee, like an employee. We don't really ever see that. Like, we don't really get a ton of interaction between the mom and Jane, because the mom is acting fake towards her, and she's just like, I don't really want to have. I think she's a Hallmark moment right now, or a Kodak moment, or something like that. I don't know. It's just.
It's like I both want and don't want another 15 minutes into this movie so that we can have some of that stuff fleshed out a little bit better. But at the same time, like, most of the stuff that I'm seeing is hard to watch in the first place. And so I don't want any more than what we got. We got enough to get the point. But there were some other things that I would have liked to feather them out just a bit more. But I'm okay with it. The acting's phenomenal. The content, though it is edgy and tough to watch, it sure caught my attention. So, I can see why this was such an acclaimed film, for sure. There are just issues that I have with it.
So you were saying, Brian, that you would love to see another 15, 20 minutes, which is kind of funny because they cut out about 20 minutes out of this movie. Originally in the script, the movie continues and you see Jane and Ricky in court being accused of the murder of Lester. And I believe all the way to the point of them being jailed. So the director, when actually went to edit the film, cut all of that out because he didn't think it was the right direction for the film to go. And
I would agree, actually.
I would absolutely agree. You're going to take the only two semi-hopeful storylines in the entire film and ruin them for something they didn't do? F that ending.
Yeah, that gets real dark. That gets real dark.
Gets real dark. It gets real dark for sure. Yeah. But I thought it was an interesting thing that, you know, when you're making a movie, you have this vision of it from the script, and then when they filmed the whole thing, all of that was filmed, and then when he went to edit it, he found a different movie, which is very interesting to me. And that was what's the director's name? Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes.
Yeah, and this was actually his first feature-length film as well, which is incredible to think about.
Wow.
Yeah, he'd done a couple of like TV episodes and I think a TV movie at one point, but this was his first feature. So pretty incredible cast he was able to gather, pretty amazing script he was able to work on, and a pretty amazing accomplishment as a final product, I'd say.
For sure. Okay, guys, tell me about Ricky. Is this a believable character with his profession, his outlook on life, his rather overwhelming intellect and ability to perceive people accurately and truthfully? Do you guys believe that this person exists?
I've not met him. What about you, Will?
I don't think any of these characters exist. And I think that's on purpose. You know, I think a little bit of the movie is caricaturizing all of these characters just to, you know, amp it up a little bit to the nth degree, to make it more intense, more suspenseful, more what the F am I watching right now? The problem I have with Ricky is that I think they purposely made him like so awkward and weird so that you don't understand right away that he's kind of the one who's got it all figured out. But to me, it kind of made him feel like an odd character throughout. And again, like most characters, not super likable. So even if he is the one that has it all figured out, it just kind of falls a little flat to me in the movie for those reasons. I don't know.
Yeah, I did like that almost everybody in this movie is hypocritical, or at very least has a bit of an identity crisis going on, something that makes them not quite who they seem to be. And the only real like hypocrisy with Ricky is like he goes along with everything his dad says when his dad's in the room, but that's more of like a forced survival instinct as opposed to who he actually is. Like he's pretty centered in who he is, but he knows that the only way to survive in his father's home is to be this other person that his father will hopefully potentially approve of. And of course he doesn't. One character we've not talked about in this review yet is Chris Cooper's Colonel Fitz, the dad, Ricky's dad, who is a miserable person, but an incredible actor. I thought he did a really good job pulling off who he was. But again, I just hated him the entire time.
Explain to me why he tries to kiss Lester in the garage. I think I understand this, but I don't understand why he goes in for the kiss. What is this? What's happening?
Everybody is not who they say they are. Everybody is hiding something. He's the super macho military rah guy. His wife is dead inside, probably because he hasn't touched her in 20 years.
So he's actually
he won't allow himself know it.
100%.
He won't allow anybody to know it because he's entirely embarrassed by it. This is the 90s, you got to remember. He grew up in the 60s and 70s. This was not a time when you were allowed, you know what I'm trying to say, where it was give me the words, not allowed.
Socially acceptable?
Socially acceptable to be a homosexual, especially not in the military.
Yeah. Right.
So he's been hiding who he is the entire time. He finally finds a neighbor who maybe he finds attractive, maybe is open and is okay with who he is. Why he doesn't go to the gyms, I'll never know. But I guess Kevin Spacey does give him the opening saying, like, I haven't touched my wife
doesn't want to break up a
and maybe
relationship.
that's for the better. Well, and that's just it. Kevin Spacey's saying he's already in a broken relationship and it's just a sham of what it was. It's not real. Maybe he recognizes that because of his fake relationship with his wife and is like, oh, maybe I'm not only allowing myself out, maybe I'm going to free him at the same time.
And see that I figured it was either that or, and this is what I kind of thought it was, was that he was trying to understand why his son was gay because he thought his son was gay. And so he was just trying to like throw himself into a homosexual relationship to see what this is about, to try and make a connection with his son, because his son told him he's like, you're a pathetic old man or whatever. And so that was what I thought it was. It was one of the two, is that he's trying to figure out his son or he's trying to figure out himself. I wasn't really sure. It wasn't super clear to me because that kiss kind of came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah. I don't think Colonel Fitz gives a crap about what anybody else is thinking or feeling. I think
you may be right.
I think he's trying to figure out what's going on in his own head.
Well, to a point, because then he kills Lester for rejecting him, right? So he doesn't want his secret out. I think that's the reason he kills him.
Sure. I mean, Brian's second hypothesis was like,
right.
oh, well, maybe I can understand what my son is going through.
Yeah,
I don't think he cares what his son is going through.
No,
I think
100%.
Yeah, but you're right. That is my understanding of why he kills him as well. Just like either a hurt from rejection or more likely I don't want this getting out. I can't have anybody know who I really am.
Brian, you would have appreciated another scene they cut, a brief scene. The actual reason why he beats his son for going into that locked cabinet is that after that scene, he goes to the cabinet and pulls out a picture, an old army picture of a younger him and Private looking quite comfortable with each other, next to each other in the photo. So I think allude to his, sexual preference.
I really would have liked that illusion. I would have really appreciated that. That would have helped that continuity when the kiss came in. There would have been the foreshadowing to it, and I would have completely understood what was going on. As is, I wasn't certain of what was trying to be told to me in that scene.
Right.
And, and it was no fault of Chris Cooper. A phenomenal job in this, right?
He's great.
Yeah.
He's always good.
So two questions, because maybe I just missed something here. There might be just like a little detail. How does the dad know that he went in the cabinet?
I think because it was unlocked.
So he left it unlocked when he was done?
Well, because he doesn't have a key. He just picked it open. So I think it was just unlocked. He found it unlocked, so he knew.
So he would have known that his dad was going to know that it was tampered with.
I think so, yeah. But I think he thought it was worth it to show this girl and wow her.
Do you think that wowed her? Like that was another one of those weird that's one of the things I remember from 1999. Is like, wow, he has a plate with a Nazi symbol on it. And then watching it, now I'm like, that didn't have anything to do with anything. Like his dad's not a Nazi. I didn't think that was the secret his dad was hiding. Like what? Okay.
So Ricky had a key for that locked cabinet. He got it from a locksmith who made him a key for it. But he told his dad that he picked the lock because he didn't want his dad to find out that he had a key. Right. So I'm not sure how his dad knew. I do believe it was left unlocked.
Fingerprints on that plate.
So he was just distracted.
I don't know. Maybe something was moved in there or something, or his dad could be anal enough that he noticed that the plate was shifted 3 millimeters to the left or something. I don't know.
He does seem to be pretty anal. No pun intended. Oh. Wow.
But it was his dad's denial over Ricky's truth was quite expansive, and I'm glad that Ricky even acknowledges that and says never underestimate the power of denial. Yeah. And so I thought it was, that whole family was great. Ricky, his mom, his dad. It was very interesting stuff going on there. So like that.
So it's fun because at the end, Lester underestimated the power of denial to Ricky's dad, and look where it got him.
Yeah.
Right. It's a very interesting story, movie in general.
Well, we have a special guest waiting in the wings, Miss Hillary. I figured with this movie and the topic subject matter, it'd probably make some sense to get a female perspective on everything. You guys ready to bring her in and see what she's got to say about life in the movie? And
let's do this.
Let's watch this with a room full of dudes.
I absolutely love always having some sort of female perspective. This movie definitely makes sense to have it.
Excellent. Miss Hillary, how are you doing?
I'm good. How's everyone? Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Welcome back to R Rating. This is your second or third appearance, I think. Second for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, because we had you on for Sound of Music for the full episode.
Mm-hmm. You're always around, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So,
fair.
Hillary, you're one of the dictators that forces us to watch films like this. Was this one all you, or did other people have a hand in it?
So I also, like Will, had never seen the movie before. So it was a brand new experience for me. It was Elder's pick because it was Elder's birthday. And he had asked if we could watch American Beauty for his birthday. And I was like, of course, I'm totally fine with that. And that's why we watched American Beauty, because I'd never seen it. So I was like, I'm down to watch a movie I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. That's
Very
half
nice.
the fun.
And yeah.
And there were some usual people who join us for these watch parties who specifically said, I will not be joining you for this because I do not want to see this movie again. This movie can definitely strike some emotion in people. So very interesting. And those people told me, well done movie, don't want to watch it, you know?
And
so
I completely agree. Like, I'm glad I watched it this time, but if somebody wanted to watch it in like a year from now, I'd probably be passing. I'd probably be like, you know what?
I'm gonna
enjoy
pass.
it, but I'm good.
I was very surprised at the turnaround difference.
Okay, Mrs. Hillary, what about you? Your first time watching? Give us some insight to your experience with.
It was very creepy. Very, very creepy. I had a really hard time getting past Lester and it slipped my mind, but Mina Savari's character. Like, the dynamic there was extremely uncomfortable. I'm pretty sure I was the only female in the watch party, which did not exactly make it the most comfortable experience either. In some of those scenes, especially when there's like full frontal nudity, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird to be watching with a bunch of people online. But
it's like watching a movie with your parents.
yeah, definitely. And so it was a different adventure in that way. I have no interest watching the movie again. But like, unfortunately, there are parts I'd like to watch again just to understand it better. But so much of the movie gave me the ick that I don't want to watch it again.
I completely understand that. Now, obviously, we're all coming at this from slightly different perspectives. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm the only one in the room that has daughters, right? You all have sons?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. My daughters are not as old as these characters, but they're not far off.
Right.
Mhm.
And it was that much more disturbing watching everything that's going on, right? Because, like, not necessarily from a me perspective, but from a they're going to other friends' houses and stuff like that. Like, what are they being subjected to?
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that I don't have an intelligent thing to speak on, because obviously, growing up in a male world, I never had to deal with this, right? Like, this is not something that's crossed my door until now, where I'm having to having to
Deal
traverse
with it.
people that I love potentially going through the situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think, unfortunately, the experience, maybe not to the full extreme of the movie, but that creepy older man feeling is, I would say, majority of young women have experienced that, or have had some sort of experience with a father type figure in their life, like not necessarily theirs or their friends' parents, but that experience of that older male subjecting and hypersexualizing that teenager, like, that is far more common than I think a lot of people realize. And that doesn't even, that's not even including people that are willing to talk about it or have recognized it being a moment in their life. Some people choose to not acknowledge that. And so it's happens a lot more than you think, as unfortunate as that is to say. And all we can do, we have to watch these movies to have these conversations, to make sure that this doesn't happen. Right.
That's what I was going to ask you, Mrs. Hillary, is, do you think this movie goes too far with it? Do you think that this movie is trying to portray that message of, this is not how you should be living your life. Because I think a lot of people, and I've seen online that, you know, a lot of people throughout the years are like, oh, Lester's, you know, a good guy after all. He redeemed himself. And I didn't get that at all in this movie. But do you think that the message is going in the right direction with this movie?
No, I think I don't agree with that whole Team Lester at the end. A creep is a creep is a creep. He still was, you know, fantasizing to the point, like that fantasy was so impactful for him that he made a complete 360 on his life. Like, you know, and maybe part of this is coming from like the educational background of the social work and working in the communities where we try to invoke change in people. The power of that fantasy for him is a motivator, and a very successful motivator. You never lose that ick factor after that. Like the fact that he's like, oh, you're a virgin, oh, now I'm gonna stop. It's like, so what, then we're just waiting for the next
girl who isn't a virgin.
Who isn't a virgin to come into the picture.
Or if she wasn't by chance a virgin, he would have just went for it, right? So it's like,
or even if she was but just didn't say it, like if she just allowed it to happen, he wasn't stopping of his own volition until she said something.
And that's why I think he's not a redeemable character.
Yeah.
But his arc is that he does, in the end, find out what happiness is to him.
Yeah.
Is it way too late? And is it after a catastrophe of a year of his life? Absolutely. And maybe if this movie was made today, the catalyst for his obsession could be different to make it less fucking creepy as hell. Maybe that would be a good idea in light of all these things that are now, you know, very, very public. But would it have the same impact? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you guys hit on something here, because the first time through, I felt like he was taking control of his life for the wrong reasons, but, you know, improving his own outlook on things. And at the end, he very much redeems himself and was fine. And this recent time through, I was like, yeah, he figures it out in the end, but he's still a fucking creep. I'm not okay with this.
Do you think there's a world, like if this movie was real life, I guess, is there a long enough timeline where Lester can redeem himself?
No.
No?
How about this, Dan? If you were Angela Hayes, Mina Savari's character, if you were Angela Hayes' father and you found out about this, how long would it take before you didn't kick his ass?
Or wind up where you
Well,
work.
that's a fair point. Or what? What was that? I missed it.
Wind up where you work.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Like,
Yeah, it's tough because it's not even a matter of, for Lester's character, it's not like the first time he meets her, things go really far. Like this, you said this takes place over the course of a year. Like he is trying to better himself with the explicit purpose of being with her. He is working towards it. He is thinking about this. He is meeting her multiple occasions. Like this is not like
he's
I had one night of, sorry?
He's masturbating to her.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
we have.
But that's my
Yeah,
point. Like,
like
it's not like I had one bad judgment. Like, no, you were on this train for a while. I don't think you're going back from this one.
I want to push back a little bit. I don't think it's his only goal in this movie is to just get into bed with this young girl. I think he realized, like, it's the catalyst. Yes, it awakens him being like, wow, my life is not where I want it to be, not where I thought it would be, not what I thought would make me happy. My happiness is where this young person is in their life. That's why he reverts back to smoking drugs, drinking, getting the T-Bird he always wanted. Like he's reverting back to high school. That's his goal, not just to bed an underage girl. I think that was just like the catalyst. The unfortunate part is it comes up multiple times, so he's consistently still aiming for that. I just don't think it's the main goal. The main goal is to find happiness, right? That's all of their main goals. No matter how twisted their their pathway to get there is. So I just don't think it's quite that one.
Yeah, he gets the car and he's excited. He's like, it's my dream car. I finally got it. Yes. And then he tries to bet his own wife. And because he's finding the things that are making him happy. And like you said, Mila Savari was the catalyst, and he notices, hey, I'm happier now that I did this. Let's continue on this path.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong, but the movie, from a movie telling perspective, the plot kicks off when they go to that dance and he sees her.
Yeah.
And it ends very shortly after he gets with her, or he has the opportunity to be with her.
Yes.
And then that's the end of the film. Like
I know. It's a strong.
It is the catalyst for why it's going. You're right. He's
100%,
chasing
100%.
his former self and who he used to be. But
yeah, and that's why I think his perspective changes when he realizes this isn't what he wants. Does he stumble upon it because she admits she's a virgin and it could have gone horribly wrong the whole way through? Yes. Like all the reasons he made it to his, epiphany of, that things that make me happy are these small memories and being a good father and my daughter. Those are the things that made me happy. And I just lost that along the way. Those are all the things. It's just a horrible way that he found out about it because he had to see his daughter in this girl that he was chasing. Right? Like that's, so it's, and like movies do, they, wrap it up from beginning to end. They come full circle.
Sure.
So it's hard to be like, he's a one-noted character. And again, I said that, like, they're all kind of caricatures of themselves, but he is the most fleshed out of them. So I don't know. And maybe that's why I was like, if you think that's the only thing that's wrong with him and his happiness, and then he realizes it, that maybe makes it feel like, he redeemed himself because he didn't go through with it. But it's not just that one thing in my mind. It can't be just that one thing.
If we could have got another year out of him, we might have seen a much better human being who just had to go through a year of crawling through this mental dumpster to figure himself out. And we could have probably appreciated him a lot more. But to come so close as to take the girl's shirt off, in my mind, he's already crossed a line. What's strange is 20 years ago, that wasn't a line crossed. But today, at my age, having kids, driving through the school parking lot to pick my kids up and seeing the young ladies there, this is, it's tough.
At the risk of sounding incredibly creepy, when you're 17, 18, you think you're an adult. So it feels like two adults. When you're 40, she's a child.
Yeah,
it does not feel like two adults.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. No bueno. No effing bueno.
Yeah, 100%. And yes.
All right. Hillary, before we let you go, do you have a rating for this movie? And I know I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't ask you to do that ahead of time, so you can tell me no if you want. We can just edit this all out in post. Or a final thought. Let's go with maybe final thought is easier.
Okay. We'll go with a final thought. It was, am I glad that I've seen it? To say that I've seen it, yes, because it has won quite a few Oscars, some very important Oscars. Will I ever watch it again? Not willingly. Now, I can only think of one situation where I would be forced to watch that, and that was if my son had to watch it for movie.
Oh, don't watch it with your son.
Exactly. So like that's the only time it'll ever play in this house ever again.
Film studies.
Yes, exactly. It's I was just a little bit younger when that movie came out, so like it was very real for me watching it, because I know enough people who have experienced situations like that or similar situations like that it was definitely crazy to see that it was put into film and won so many awards for being put into film. And it's not something that would fly today, I don't think. So it's interesting to see how things have changed in 20 plus years.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and I do have one last question for both you and Will. Because this is your first time watching this movie, it doesn't show you who shoots Kevin Spacey until a couple of minutes later. It kind of shows you where all the characters were at the time.
Yeah.
Did you have any guesses on who shot him until it showed you? Will?
I think they did a good job setting up that it could have been anybody, which I kind of like. And then as it went, obviously it narrowed down to the wife, which was the most easy to see because she was literally coming home with a gun to do it, with gun training earlier in the movie. So I thought it was a nice surprise that it was the Rick's dad that took him out. So I didn't know it was going to be him, which was a nice surprise for the movie. Yeah, I like the take on it.
What about you, Hillary?
I think it definitely, yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be Ricky's dad either. If anything, I was expecting it to be Annette Bening's character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they definitely build it up as if it's going to be her, but unfortunately that's one of the things I did remember, so there was no...
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was going to be the Jims because he kept interrupting their morning run.
Yeah.
Just
How
leave us
dare you
alone.
run with us. This is our time.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Hillary. I appreciate you coming on and
Thanks, Hillary.
giving us a different perspective on the show.
Thank you.
Love it.
Right. All right, I am assuming at this point we are good to start wrapping up and give our scores and move on to the end.
Yeah, give me just a few seconds because my score swung wildly in a bunch of different categories. So I want to redo the math on this here.
Are you cool if I do the Patreon stuff while you're doing
Go for it? Yes, please. Go ahead and do that.
If you like what we do and you want to help support us, consider joining our Patreon. There's a link down below. Thank you to our producers, as well as our executive producer, Dino, and our head writers who chose the film this month, Elder JM990, Miss Hillary, and Real Bubba Hotep. Thank you all very much. It's very worth pointing out, Bubba Hotep had no say in this one whatsoever, actually.
He did.
He was like, I will not watch that if that's what we're doing. Like, won't even do the watch party, nothing.
But we're excited to have him join the group and have his input on what movies we watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Brian, you got a score for us?
I do.
Cool. Oh, wait 1 second. I don't have the score page up. Give me a second just so I can write it down. Actually, you're good. Just start talking all here before you do.
So we talked about this one being very different from when it first came out to when it came out now. The difference is that our society has made aware the sicknesses that we experience with sexuality within our culture it's changed a lot. And so from then until now, this movie has depreciated in value to some degree because I don't think that maybe it covers that topic in the perfectly appropriate direction. Still a fantastically well-built movie. My score fluctuated greatly. I started out at a 67 for this film, but after discussing it with the guys and with Hillary, thank you for visiting us, Hillary, this score came out at a 79, which is the wildest fluctuation I've ever had during a discussion. Normally, I only move the needle 2 or 3 points at most. But there were just some things that we talked about and I was made aware of that showcased how well this movie was constructed, the acting, the dialogue, and the direction of this film, which was quite incredible. And for its day, a masterpiece. And but as of today, it has come down quite a bit for me. But 79 is my final score for this. I do think it's a very interesting film. I'm not sure if this is something you would want to watch with your teenage daughter, if only to maybe raise conversation topics about dating as a teenager in high school and child predators, basically.
I can confirm there is no chance I'm ever watching this with my teenage daughter. That's just straight up not happening.
Yeah.
If my wife wants to, have at it. You enjoy that 2 hours of misery, but no, I'm good.
But, you know, watching this film makes me wonder what is going on with Mina's character's parents. What's going on with Jane's parents that they're not talking about these sorts of things? I mean, obviously Lester's messed up, so he's not talking to his daughter about it because he's the problem. And so I just wonder what would the dads feel like, you know?
That's an interesting point, because I kind of said how Colonel Hicks, or whatever his name is, doesn't really care what his son's going through. Like, that just doesn't seem to be on his mind. But realistically, nobody in this movie seems to care what anybody else is going through.
Yeah, they're all pretty self-absorbed,
kind of just doing their own thing, and like they're in relationships, whether it be father, son, husband, wife, friend, whatever. But like, with the exception of Ricky, like, nobody seems to be really catching on to what's going on in anybody else's life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I had a fairly hard time rating this one, because I usually do it by like actor, cinematography, sound, plot, and enjoyment. And in most of those categories, this rate's really, really high for me. But this just is not a movie that I can give an incredibly high score to, because I just don't. It was horrible to sit through, to be honest. It was really, really hard. I didn't really enjoy it. But this evening, talking with people about it was actually really interesting. And I actually enjoyed that more. Kind of like how I said with Primer, if you're just looking for something to watch on a Friday, this is not really it. But if you've got people that this can spark discussion with, that does raise it up pretty significantly. My enjoyment level of this movie is still quite low, but like, the acting I thought was really good. The sound is not something we talked about a whole lot, but during the watch party we were mentioning, like, a lot of the music and the tension in these scenes is done very deliberately and very, very well, where you could have a totally different soundtrack and it would change the scene and what you're looking at drastically. But they're expertly made and they know exactly what they're doing, and it really does come across well. The cinematography, there's a lot of white with red imagery, whether it be the roses, the door, the blood at the end. All done very, very well. I'm not entirely sure exactly what it's trying to specify or what it's trying to say, but it looks really well done. The plot, everybody's awful, everybody's hypocrite, everybody's not who they say they are. It's probably accurate, but it's not one of the things I enjoyed. This movie got a 72 for me. It's really well made. It's probably worth watching once. It's not a fun film. It's not something you should watch for enjoyment. But if it sparks a conversation, I think it's worth it. Cool.
Yeah, we didn't get into the sound of this film very much, did we? And
yeah, it's very good.
The sound changed everything in this film. Without the soundtrack that it had, I don't think this movie gets off the ground because of the content that you're watching.
Yeah. And it's ironically, it's something we mentioned a lot in the watch party. Like, oh man, the music in this scene. Oh wow, the sound in this scene. And then like, it didn't come up once during our actual review, but maybe we got it all out during the watch party.
I agree with Dan. Oh, how do I even say this? Why did I say that? Wow, yuck. No, I think the importance of this movie is the discussion that comes from it. I think, you know, they go to a really extreme degree to show what, you know, in 1999, everybody's living the American dream, having the picture perfect house with the picture perfect marriage and the picture perfect kids, and how that doesn't necessarily add up to happiness and isn't always what it seems. We didn't really talk about how social media has come so far from 1999 till now, where, you know, on Facebook and Instagram, everybody is always throwing up their mask of perfect, happy pictures. And you know, beyond the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the Twitters, that life isn't like that. So I think this movie has trouble aging somewhat, but also is still very relevant because of those things, that it's so much easier to hide your issues within yourself or your marriage or your happiness in life in general, behind all of these facades of perfect filtered pictures and things like that. But it's also so much more important to have that self-reflection, to keep your mental sanity in check, and just looking within yourself once in a while and checking in on yourself. And more importantly, maybe checking in with others. Beyond that, yes, this movie is beautifully shot. There's so much detail we didn't even get into. Just the distance of Lester and Angela throughout the movie. They're never really close to each other unless they're putting on the facade of going to the pep rally to support their daughter, to make sure everybody thinks they are a happy, loving family. I really thought that those specifics and those details were really well done in this movie. Is the story hard to watch? Absolutely. Is any of the characters all that redeeming or likable? Not really. Will I watch this movie again? Probably not. But it's a really, really well-made movie with some really important messages. Maybe a little over the top, a little one note in the characters, but the acting just supersedes it and makes it work from these wonderful actors. So overall, my lowest score on this, to sum it all up, my lowest score on this for me is if the movie holds up. I just don't think it holds up the same in the world we live in today, but I still think it's a very important movie. And I think it hits hard on a lot of other aspects of great movie making. 82 out of 100 for American Beauty.
And well said, Will. Well said.
Oh, thanks.
No, Skinny Matthew, I don't think I would call this movie an American Beauty. I think that on the surface, in this day and age, it's really disgusting. But when you dig down into it, it actually has a lot of merit and interesting things and ideas and can really spark some great conversation. So it's almost the opposite of an American Beauty in that it's ugly on the surface, but has great meaning and potential when you really dig down into it.
Look closer.
Look closer.
Is the math not mathin'? You're muted, I think.
One of the things that really bothered me with this movie, and I know this is not a weird, like, humble brag or whatever.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be a little bit. I've grown up in a household with a lot of like where conversation is, how do I word this?
Tailored to the individual.
Ironically, I can't get the words out, but like we are pretty strong communicators from like my grandparents, my parents, my wife and I. We're trying to pursue that into our children. There's so many situations in this film where it's just like, just fucking talk to them. It's really not that hard. Just start a conversation. And nobody is willing to do that. And I think that's what was kind of driving me insane while watching it, is they're all just spiraling. Everything is getting worse. Everybody's hypocritical. Just have the conversation. Like the one, and again, I'm going to be a little bit using euphemisms, but the one where he is lying in bed next to his wife and she like freaks out like, whoa, what are you doing? And he's just like, well, nothing else is happening around here. Like, start that conversation ahead of time, my guy. Like, who knows? Maybe they had that conversation for the past 10 years and he's sick of it. I don't know. But it was just one of those things where, like, as a kid watching this, you're like, oh, you're never supposed to do that in front of your spouse. Got it. And then you kind of grow up, you're like, oh, she's a person too, and I can just talk to her. Got it. Like, it's just, it rings untrue to me. But maybe that's how a lot of people live their lives. I don't know.
I think they get into one of those points where they start conversing, but then they switch camera angles and back out of it and watch from a distance without the conversation, which is Lester and his daughter. And he says, what happened, Janie? We used to be pals. And he's having a conversation, a real conversation with his daughter. And then suddenly we switch camera angles and we don't get to be a part of that. We don't get to hear that. So it can happen. It's just not to be a part of this film.
Well, and it all is purposeful to, get to that crazy ending, the finale of, oh my goodness, all this going down in one place at one time. But
I loved the one scene though where she just calls him out on it. Like, we're not going to be best friends just because you had a bad day. Like, we haven't talked in forever. You've given this relationship no effort for years, and now you had a bad day and you want me to sympathize with you? Like, fuck off. And like, I'm like, yeah, it takes work to be a dad or a parent or a child, whatever.
To be in a relationship with anyone at any level.
Yes, that is a better way to word it. And if you're not willing to put in that work, don't expect the other person to just reciprocate randomly.
Yeah, and if you don't have any friends, it might be because you're fake. So get real, you know?
Get real. That's the message we're all going to take away.
Get real,
everybody.
Lester. Are you working or are you not working? And with that, we see American Beauty coming with a score of 72, 79, 82, and a grand score of 78, making it our 5th best movie on the Patreon pick list. Coming in as a tie with Shutter Island, but because it does have a higher score, I put it ahead of it. What do you guys think about this placement? I know we just discussed that this is not a fun watch that any of us are going to watch again, but are you happy it deserves this high up on the list?
I think it should be one higher.
Frick you.
I definitely had more fun watching Sing Street, though it was my first time. Sing Street had a much more pleasant, happy vibe than American Beauty. But I think this is great. I think this is a good spot for it to land. I'm okay with it. Yeah.
I will say it was a bit of a shock going from Sing Street the week before into this one. It
Yeah.
was just like, oh, this is all different.
Yeah.
And we didn't touch on it, but it did that one thing that we were talking about, like that Sing Street avoided so beautifully, was that like super awkward secondhand embarrassment where you're just like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Go away. This movie did it a couple of times. It was just funny that we brought up how the one last week just avoided that so expertly. And this one's like, no, we're going to lean into it.
Yeah, this one definitely leans into it.
Yeah.
Full in. No, it's good. Overall, I don't mind the placement. I love taking a jab at Dan's movies, of course, but yeah, overall, I like the placement of the movie. I think it is still a very valid movie to be watched, and for multiple reasons. Whether you like the movie itself and a lot of the content in it, totally makes sense.
I could see this movie being a piece taught in a film class to showcase not just the cinematography and sound, but the way that acting. There's a ton of different things that this movie does really well and could be used as a showpiece for that. Also, just to showcase that you can dive into some really disgustingly hardcore material and still come out winner of 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
Yep.
All I got to say about that. All right, well, that's our rating on American Beauty. But what's yours? Leave a comment in this. All right, well, that's our rating of American Beauty. But what's yours? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. We record this live over at twitch.tv/The Mongoolie Show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So head over there and hit the follow button if you want to hang with us live. Or if you made it this far in the video, you probably enjoyed it. Hit like and subscribe so that we see you in the next one.
Hope to see ya. Hope to see ya in the next one. Woo!
I love that you do things like that, and my brain just goes like, "That's a clip." Like the next week it'll be like, "Hope to see you in the next one." Instead of the outro music, it'll just be Will like clicking around. Hope to see ya. I'm only partially joking.
I know. And I'll never learn, unfortunately.
No. Love you. Oh.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I thought it was a good discussion. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Agreed. Brian, you said you had a heart out. Are you doing anything this weekend that you want to let people know about?
Haven't got a clue. Nothing planned. I'll do my usual Sunday Cyberpunk stream that rolls into the watch party. I'm hoping to actually have Sundays off from now on, so I can actually do 2 and 3 hour streams on Sundays. And as the rest of my work starts getting under control, I think like today was the day I actually got all caught up on everything. So I will actually be able to stream a little bit more and have a little bit more fun, but nothing planned per se.
Very cool. Now I do actually going to ask you a question about that. There's something weird going on in your background.
Yeah,
we kind of discussed in the back
with me.
We kind of discussed it a little bit off air, but not a ton. Will, you're away for 2 weeks in April, so you're going to be missing the 16th and 23rd. Is that correct? Or is it the 9th and the 16th?
I believe it's the 9th and the 16th.
Okay. So did you want us to do Greenland, and then Jump Street, so you miss one of each franchise, or did you want us to go and have an entire franchise that you're not here for?
No, I like the way you had it set up. Actually, I believe next week is Greenland. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So next week Greenland. I'll miss Greenland too, but I will try to watch and submit a video so you guys can have a rating for it.
Okay.
And then I'll miss Jump Street. Not Jump
21 Jump
21
Street,
Jump Street.
but then you'll be here for 22.
And I'll be there for 22, so I can hopefully bookend.
Get a bit on both.
Yeah,
Okay.
and have a little bit of insight to those movies, which I haven't seen any of them, so I'm kind of looking
Perfect.
forward to.
I don't know anything about Greenland. I don't know.
I'm real excited
Anything
to
about
rewatch Greenland. I've seen the first one and I haven't seen the sequel. And I never really got excited about Jump Street, either of them. So we'll just see how that goes when I rewatch
See how
it.
goes. Yeah.
Fair enough. You said you own Greenland. I'm just checking right now to see if there's a way to watch it. You mentioned the watch party. Are you going to be hosting one?
Yeah, I'll host it. I own it. I'll host it. I'll make sure it's up there. That'll be 7 Central, 8 your guys' time.
Okay.
And
Nice.
we'll get that going for sure.
Sounds good. It is available on Amazon Prime, so I do have access to it. So we'll see what my Sunday looks like, but I would love to join you if I can. Will, Friends Friday? What you got?
Yeah, it's Friends Friday. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. I heard Peak has gotten a few updates, and you can actually. They had a big problem where hackers would jump into your game and just obliterate everything. But now they've added the ability to kick people, so maybe we'll see about a little bit of Peak, some sort of game we can all have fun with. Be there, or be square, or just be you.
Very cool. All right. Tomorrow night, I am potentially watching Sing Street with my parents and my kids. So looking forward to that. And then Saturday morning, I'm going to be doing a bit of World of Warcraft. We started out today, so I'm already at level 8 or something like that, playing World of Warcraft Classic for the first time in like 20 years. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be playing with Max Carnage and Bubba Hotep. And I think we're trying to convince Wonderful D and Dadpool to join us, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get all of them in or not. So it should be fun. And then Brian's going to do a watch party on Sunday, and we'll be back next week discussing Greenland for the last time in a while with just the 3 of us, which actually all 3 of us. Thank you for the Raid Run 7. You're the best. Welcome in, Raiders.
Thank you guys for having me on for another wonderful episode of our rating. It's a highlight of my week, really. So thanks, guys. And thanks, chat, for joining us. I'm out of here, though. I got to get going. So I'll see y'all later.
All
Bye.
good. We're rating out as well. So you guys have a great week, and we'll catch you next time here on our rating. Don't forget to hit !movies. Go check us out on YouTube. Hit the follow button down there, and check out Patreon. Nope, not Patreon. Sorry, podcast. Find us wherever you can find podcasts. We've got 37 episodes live as of right now on over a dozen different podcast stations. It's incredible. Go check it out. You guys.